Okay, folks, it's a good afternoon from Alice Springs, and therefore it's a good morning or good evening wherever you are in the world. This is a Blind Magic in Alice Springs, and I am your presenter and host, Murray Stewart, and it's episode 1005 of Blind Magic in Alice Springs. Okay, folks, I'm just wondering if any of you out there are survivors of a stroke. If you are, I wonder if you have had seizures since your stroke or strokes for that matter. Well, I'm certainly in that category. I've been speaking about that. In fact, my most recent seizure was a couple of weeks back. And yes, it was frightening. And yes, there was uncertainty about my future. Well, my future has now become more certain. This afternoon, whilst talking to the visiting neurologist that comes to Alice Springs from New South Wales, I have been diagnosed with post-stroke epilepsy. There we go, post-stroke epilepsy. So how do I feel about that? Well, I'm feeling a sense of relief. That's right, a sense of relief. Now I know what the task at hand is. As I do have a diagnosis, I know almost exactly what needs to be done. We'll up the medication ever so slightly, the anti-seizure medication. We'll bring it up to 800 milligrams per day, and we'll see how that goes. If it's all good, we'll hold steady. If it's not, we can back it off a bit. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Myself and Dr. Angela working together. Yeah, so many ways that you can look at these things, but I've been living with vision impairment for 60 years, and I've never been woe is me about that, so I'm not going to be woe is me about this diagnosis. There's so many things that could have gone very, very wrong when it comes to strokes. I feel so lucky. There are so many people out there that are far worse off than me when it comes to the ailments that they now have after strokes. And I've been lucky to dodge those. Very, very lucky. And even some of the seizures I've had since could have been far worse in their eventual outcomes, and here I am. So the one thing that I can say is I'm alive and available to receive this diagnosis. So that means, as I said, there is a task at hand. It gives me something to do. It absolutely gives me something to do. And if I can get through this next couple of months as we bring the medication up, then wow, have I got some things to get on with. I truly do. In my profession as an allied health professional and also as an athletics coach, not to mention the things that I want to now do with blind magic communications. I'd more or less put that on hold for now until the diagnosis, and even this afternoon I found myself talking to Heather, my senior support worker, about what I can now get on with in terms of blind magic communications. And I think that's occurred because I now have a clarity of thought. And I'm certain that that is because I now have a diagnosis and therefore the way ahead. That's right, I have the way ahead, and I'm going to pursue it like an arrow to a target. I will, absolutely I will. So away we go. So for you out there, if you have received a diagnosis of a condition, I want you to do exactly the same. Zero in on what needs to be done, and I'm sure you will come out the other side stronger and better than ever. You just stick to the task. We both now have something to do, don't we? We do. So let's do this together, folks, as we always do. Let's do this together. Do it for ourselves, our friends, our family, and all those around us. Okay, folks, this has been episode 1105. It's been a Blind Magic Communications production.